morning, everyone. This is Sean Butner with Start Your Day with a High Performance Coach, and today we're going to talk about joy, growth, and impact, and how that can help you, achieve what you need in your life. So, if you're joining me, very quickly, do the social thing, the like, subscribe, whatever for this video, share it, and we'll just get right into it. So, the phrase joy, growth, impact is the guiding motto for my coaching business and, coaching, training, all that, the things that I offer. And I chose those three words because one, they're important to me, and two, I think they make the greatest impact, or they have in my life out in the world. So if we just break it down real quick, joy is kind of all-encompassing, but it's finding happiness where you're at. And so growing up, our family had a lot of medical debt. My mom had breast cancer when I was really young. When she was recovered, there's tons of medical bills. My dad, who was a contractor, had a wall fall on him and snapped his leg. He's out of work for a year. And so a lot of my early years were, parents that were sick or injured and, trying to pay off all these medical bills, and it was really stressful at times, and more so than my parents probably let on. But I always remembered that through it, this idea that we'll look back at this and kind of laugh and be really astonished on how we got through it. Sometimes in the moment there was no clear way forward. I remember my folks worrying about groceries and stuff like that. But, this optimism that this this is a problem that we can figure out and help us move forward really helped take off the edge of the situation, And so my brother and I, for the most part, were pretty oblivious to that stuff. And I think we were aware of it, but didn't have the understanding of how serious it was at times. So, that is something, that's why a lot of the content that I put out on here in my courses through my coaching is encouraging people to see the silver lining in things without being completely oh, everything's good. If it's not based in reality, it's not really all that effective in my opinion. But, how can we make the best out of the situation? What do we need to do now to change things going forward? Those types of messaging and values are something that I believe in, in everyone's personal life, and it's something I think we need more globally, at least nationally here. We have a lot of issues. How do we, we're here. How do we move forward? And you don't hear a lot of politicians talking about that right now, and not to be political, but that's something that I'm always listening to. It's how are we addressing the current crisi, whatever that plural of crisis is, and because I think I just made up a couple words. How do we address that stuff and move forward to make things better for everyone, right? If we don't have that desire to make things better for everyone, and everyone in the U.S. is the U.S. That's, the South, the West, the East, the, Midwest, the North, whatever. All areas of the country, what are we doing to help everyone prosper, to help everyone take care of their family, and that nature. So that's why that message is so important to me. It's gotten me through a lot of troubled times, a lot of dark times. When you feel like giving up, sometimes finding the thing to laugh at can really, really, change how you're feeling about that and allow you to think a little bit more creatively to get out, right? Ultimately. So that's joy. Growth, another thing from my childhood was my parents, especially my dad, always saying that no matter what you do, try your best. And I think it's a lot of the success that I've had in life and my career has been just keeping at things. And I know that there's this crazy messaging that some other folks do online that are like, you gotta, grind, and crush it. And I think if you take the joy part in the first thing, if you're having fun, you'll naturally, try your best for longer. But ultimately, like, just doing your best, being aware of the situation around you, trying to take actions that further, increase your skill, increase your effectiveness, it is something also that we all should be thinking about a lot more. I think when you stop doing that, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, that's when you get blindsided. Like in business, if you get comfortable and you're not innovating, somebody else is going to steal your lunch. They'll take it. So how do you continue to grow as a person? How do you continue to grow your relationships? How are you continuing to level up your health? How are you leveling up your well-being? Like the major buckets that we have in our life. If you're not progressing, you're really hurting your future prospects to be successful, to feel happiness, to really feel like it ultimately leading to the third point, your impact. How are you're contributing to your society, to your family, to your friends, to your teams, and all the folks around you. So the third point being impact. I think it doesn't have to be like I solved world hunger, I cured coronavirus. Those are very big things that we do need to figure out at some point, right? I'm not one to say that I have any solutions right now, but as we address that, we address the social unrest that's happening right now in the United States. How do we have a greater impact? And it's there's two poles here for me, right? There's like the big, social goals that we all have, or we don't intend, but we support. And what I mean by that, like if you're not questioning how your local governments, how the federal government is handling things critically, consistently, then you're just kind of going with the flow, which is fine, and it's worked for, especially in the U.S., for us for quite a long time. But I think that time is up. We really need more active engagement. But so there's the impact in society, but it could also be just the impact you have with your family. So like today is my wife's birthday, so I made her a breakfast frittata. Have some couple of special things planned that were extra for today for her, just to have that impact in her, to show her that she's loved, to have her feel awesome on a day to celebrate. We need to mark those more in our lives too. So it could just be, you might not be able to control a lot of the external factors, but you can control how you show up for your close people. And how you show up for your close people can be joyous when there's a lot of chaos and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anguish out in the world. It doesn't have to, part of your life doesn't have to suffer because of a greater story of struggle, is kind of the point I wanted to make. So whatever you're doing, so I hope that you're finding the joy in your day-to-day. What could you do to make something more fun? What could you do to make things more light? What could you do to really, just accept what's going on, right? Not meaning that it doesn't need to change, but to just say, okay, these are the things that are not going to impact me today. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to connect with the people that are important to me. I'm going to work on myself so that I'm growing as a person, so that I have a greater perspective on things, so that I have better skills to build the world that I want, and ultimately to be able to be felt in my relationships, to be felt at work as someone that's doing something good, to be impacting our communities and the larger society. So continue to find the joy, continue to grow, and have a greater impact with those around you. I mean, the world really needs you right now, and it needs you to be calm. It needs you to bring up the energy. It needs you to encourage each other to have practical changes that benefit everyone. So that's my message for today on a Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really do enjoy doing these for you. Be sure to share this. Again, do the social media thing. If you have questions, post those below. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time. Take care, guys. Happy Wednesday.